Over him? Yeah, what does he want this time? Oof! Oh, sorry, sir. It's all right. I'll just take my seat over there. What a strange old stallion. Must be my head. I might be working too hard. Wait, working too hard?
Boy, howdy. I got my work cut out for me. That there is the biggest bumper crop of apples I ever laid eyes on.
Yep. Too big for you to handle on your own.
Come on.
Well, this is an oddball, mainly because it kicks me in the flank for saying Applejack's character development happens much later in the series. Though, in my defense, a lot of what happens in the first 3 seasons gets retconned faster than anyone could say Applebucker. This episode starts off with Applejack pulling the classic move of biting off more than any pony can chew. It's Applebuck season, and with her brother Big Mac injured, she's determined to harvest all the apples by herself. Which is a very bold move given how big the actual orchard is. Time for some research. So the average apple orchard is around 50 acres of land, with around 150 trees per acre, and every tree can produce around 6 to 10 bushels, each bushel being around 125 medium-sized apples. With these numbers in mind, there should be around 7,500 trees in an average orchard, so let's say Applejack bucks 1 tree every 5 minutes, taking a break to empty the cart around every hour. It would take her around a month, 26 days and a half, without sleep, to clear the entire orchard, producing anywhere between 5,625,000 to about 9,375,000 apples per orchard. Now keep in mind I said average, and the apple family is anything but. By looking at the screenshots of the farm, and more specifically where they're currently standing, I think it's safe to say the apple family farm is at least double that. So in retrospect, it would actually take her around 53 days without sleep, which is exactly what she's doing throughout the entire episode. Now, let's say she does get some sleep, but only the bare minimum requirement, which is around 4 hours. It would take her around 65 days to clear the entire farm. Now, granted, this math is based entirely on the theory that Earth ponies do in fact have magic and can control their crops, so who knows, I could be wrong in certain areas. Now that I think about it...
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it. Get on with it.
Alright, geez, tough crowd. I'll just leave the math tabbed. So after Applejack starts working, she immediately runs into her first roadblock when Ponyville almost becomes the stomping grounds for a herd of sentient cows. Yes, they are sentient. Yes, they can speak. No one seems to care, but just accept that this is a thing. Just roll with it. After dealing with the herd of cows, learning they were scared off by a spider, Applejack gets rewarded by the mayor, and lo and behold, she's late to her own ceremony. While waiting, every pony decides to mention how great and hardworking a pony Applejack really is, while also mentioning how she's going to be helping them, all the while interrupting Twilight from giving an elaborate speech, which makes me laugh because of reasons for the future. When Applejack finally makes it to the ceremony, we see that she probably hasn't been sleeping all that much, and has clearly already been hard at work. I mean, just look at her! Somebody get a coffee for the poor mare before she collapses!
Okay.
Yeah, definitely not her most dignifying moment. So it's up to Twilight to check on her friend, and she finds just what I expected her to find. Applejack growing tired. Remember all that math and research I did earlier? I said it would be possible without sleep, and based on what we're seeing here, it looks like she's doing just that. Now, if sleep were not needed, then maybe this would be fine, but because even horses need sleep, this is not acceptable, and she will eventually wear herself out. And more of this behavior is shown as she goes to help out Rainbow Dash.
There you are. I'm a mite sorry, Rainbow. I was busy apple bucking, and I guess I closed my eyes for a second, and when I woke up, I was late. Now, what's this new trick of yours?
Alright, that throws that theory out the window. So she is getting sleep, but probably in the smallest amounts, like a power nap or something. Which would explain why she hasn't keeled over and went unconscious yet.
You're
welcome! Is that even possible? I mean, I can do math, but aerodynamics is a whole other field. I'll just file this under cartoon logic for now. So Twilight tries to go talk to Applejack again, but that conversation goes about as well as you'd expect. Though I will admit, it left me giggling all the same. That's when Applejack decides to go help Pinkie Pie, but due to her tired state, she can't focus enough to get the right ingredients, and the end result is a recreation of the Black Plague. What? Too dark?
Applejack. Oh, want one?
I'm just gonna leave that tabbed for later. And yet again, Twilight tries to talk reason into Applejack, only this time she's not asking. However, they both seem to be beating a dead tree at this point, as both are stubborn as mules. And of course, with anger and frustration rising as she goes to help Fluttershy corral a bunch of bunnies, she's not helping herself very much and causes a stampede of bunnies. Which, by the way, gives us this beauty of a meme to use throughout history.
The horror! The horror! It was awful! A disaster! A horrible, horrible disaster! I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaving this tabbed for later use. And with that in mind, Twilight is at her final stretch as she goes to confront Applejack one last time, only to find out that she's finished her entire orchard in record time. Or at least, she would have without a certain reality check from her brother.
How do you like them apples?
What happened?
So, to recap, if Applejack were to work non-stop without sleep, she would be done within 53 days. However, she is getting sleep, but at the bare minimum, as heard from earlier in the episode. So it would take her around 65 days, or around 3 months. With that math in mind, let's piece together the timeline for the episode. Let's say the start of the episode is on Sunday, and she gets right to work. Monday would be the day of the stampede of cows, following Tuesday being her reward day. Wednesday would be the day she goes to help out Rainbow Dash. Thursday, she'd have held Pinkie Pie. Friday would be the day she helps Fluttershy. So it's only been about 6 days since she started, barely scratching the surface of her own orchard. By that math, she wouldn't have been done until winter wrap-up. She was barely sleeping. But she was helping other ponies, which isn't bad, but you could clearly see how frustrated it was making her. It wasn't until she got a reality check from her brother that she finally decides to throw off all the pride and bravado to accept the help she clearly needed. In the end, Applejack gave in and let her friends help out, clearing the orchard in record time, which is a very important lesson. Just because you think you can do it on your own, doesn't mean that you have to. If for whatever reason you feel overwhelmed or stressed out, then it's time to reach out and ask for a helping hand. Or hoof. Depends on the world you're in. Oh, ow. What in the... Oh no.
Exterminate! The time has come. Execute Protocol 13.